Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are diving into a topic that has been shrouded in mystery and misunderstandings for centuries, the true origin of the term witch. So as I promised you in my last video, this month I will be uploading mini videos that take on the theme of Halloween. All right, so this particular video, I am going to be revealing the ancient roots of the term witch. Unfortunately, many of us have been conditioned to view witches through the lens of fear and negativity. But what if I told you that the roots of the word witch actually come from ancient Vikings? That's right, you heard me correctly. So in this video, we will explore how the term witch has been gravely misconstrued over time, and I'm going to reveal to you the true etymology and meaning. So I have drawn insights from the very fascinating author and prince Nicholas de Vere in his book, The Dragon Legacy, and we will explore in his book the connection between witches and Vikings. So if you have ever been curious or felt that there was more to the story about what it truly means to be a witch, stick around and let's unravel this enchanting journey from Viking to witch together. I want to apologize if you happen to hear a murder of crows sounding off behind me, 2 trees outside of my fence line. They happen to roost there around 5:30 every single night. Okay. And I think it has to do with the fact that I feed a family of crows that I have named personally Bonnie and Clyde. And so anyways, I apologize if it gets a little loud in the background. Nicholas de Vere, in his Dragon Legacy book, he was formerly known to me personally as HRH Prince Nicholas. And I am revealing a very personal fact about myself, that I was engaged to Prince Nicholas back in 2012, and then he passed away in 2013, sadly. He offers a very unique and very controversial perspective on the etymology and the true meaning of the word witch. So in the decades of research that I have done into the roots of the Bible and ancient history, and that includes any and every sort of subject that you might consider paranormal, okay, and even spooky, like vampires, witches, and fairies, I found that my own research was in total alignment with Nicholas's research. Okay, and so according to Nicholas, the term witch has ancient, royal, and noble connotations that have been gravely misunderstood over time. And he argued that it originally referred to individuals from royal, sacred, and ancient bloodlines, okay, particularly those who possessed esoteric knowledge and supernatural abilities. Now, I hope you all stick around to the end of this video, because I'm going to share some more facts about myself and the engagement that I had with Nicholas de Vere. All right, but for now, I want to talk about the etymology and how the word witch evolved from Vikings, okay? And now, according to de Vere and also my personal research, the word witch is derived from the word wicking. And where wicking came from and its roots was actually from the word Vikings. Now, before I dive into this, I want to admit that it has been well over a decade since I have repetitively read Nicholas de Vere's The Dragon Legacy. I own the book, and sadly, it is already packed up in a box because I am selling my home. So much of this information that I'm sharing with you, I've had to retain from my memory and write it down in notes. So if I look down, it's just because I'm trying to make sure I give you all the correct information that I've siphoned from my brain, okay? So according to de Vere, he suggests that the word witch is derived from the word wicking. And the word wicking in turn is derived from the word Viking. Okay, the word Viking was used to describe the Viking nobility. Okay, and they were definitely warriors, okay, but they weren't just warriors, they were also spiritual leaders and kings of great wisdom. Okay, yes, Vikings were seafaring warriors with strong ancient royal bloodlines. And it's also been said that they have preserved the ancient draconian dragon traditions. So I am glad that you have stayed with me until this point in the video, because we are about to dive deep into the etymology of witch. All right. So the etymology of witch is traced by De Vere as being derived from the term wicking, which he also connected to the Old English word for Viking, which means wise person. Now, the word witch comes from Old English wiki or wissy, which means female, or Wicca. I got that one right, and that means male. And I'm sure that's a term most of you are familiar with. So it means male, and it's related to the Proto-Germanic meaning to bend or shape. Okay, and I take that as bend or shape reality, just from my personal experiences. All right, so now according to De Vere's research, he has literally argued that the original connotations for the term witch was not inherently negative. Now, instead of the word being negative, it was referred to as someone with a very deep understanding of the natural world. And they had the ability to work with the natural energies and forces. Now, I have to apologize that murder of crows might be sounding off in the background. So I hope it's not going to be too noisy. But let's get back into this, shall we? According to De Vere studies, witches were originally members of the sacred royal bloodlines, okay? And they were often referred to as the dragon bloodlines, okay? These individuals were not your stereotypical witches that were persecuted in history, but rather, instead, they were the elite individuals with special, very spiritual, magical, and intellectual abilities. These ancient royal dragon witches were oftentimes rulers, priests, and they were even responsible for guiding their people. Also, these royal witches were descendants of the Nephilim and dragon kings, and they were believed to have a much higher spiritual and genetic status than ordinary humans. Okay, so now let's switch gears and let's talk about the ancient meaning of the word witch. Now, according to De Vere's book and research, and also mine, the word witch has been distorted over time by many religious cultural movements, particularly Christianity, which has sought for centuries to demonize the original noble and wise meaning associated with the term witch. So in the last 2 days, I have been literally racking my brain trying to remember all of the fascinating conversations that Nicholas and I had in regards to vampires, witches, the sacred bloodlines, dragon bloodlines, of course. And this is what I remember Nicholas telling me in regards to what the true meaning of witch is. And he says it refers to a guardian of ancient wisdom and a practitioner of sacred rites and a descendant of divine and royal bloodlines who had access to hidden knowledge and powers. According to De Vere's extensive knowledge and research and my decades of research into this particular subject, we both actually came to the same conclusion about what it meant to truly be a witch. And that centers around the idea that witches were not just merely practitioners of magic and folk traditions, okay, but they were actually members of the royal bloodlines who wielded considerable power, knowledge, and authority. Okay, these witches were actually tied to the dragon or the Nephilim bloodlines. And their abilities to control fate, nature, and supernatural forces is what made them a witch in the truest sense of the word. And as I promised in my earlier section of my video, I was going to reveal some very interesting facts about my engagement with Prince Nicholas de Vere, and also reveal the true roots of my maiden name. Okay, so before I get into some of my family history, I want to say that I use part of my maiden name, Anastasia, as my stage name for this YouTube channel. My full maiden name is Saint Anastasia, and that is another interesting story about that name and the saint that actually was named Saint Anastasia. That's for another video. But in this video, I am letting you know that my grandpa, when he was coming over from Sicily to the Americas on a huge boat, they asked him, okay, so what is your last name? And he said Saint Anastasia. And the man in charge is like, no, that's too long. We have to shorten that name up. Your new name now is Sanada, Sanada. All right, so our beautiful last name ended up being shortened, okay, which is like tragical. One of the very fascinating facts about getting engaged with Prince Nicholas is I had to pre-qualify to get engaged. And that meant he required an mtDNA test to find out if I had fairy or dragon blood running through my veins. And so I took the test. He actually paid for it for me. It's a very expensive test. And it was done through family tree DNA. All right. I have a relative that actually runs that particular DNA facility, and it's the Krupa family. Anyways, so the results did come back that I have fairy, vampire, dragon blood running through my veins through my maternal bloodline. All right. I also later found out that I have it through my paternal bloodline as well. Actually, quite a bit on my dad's side of the family. But anyways, so once those results came back, we got engaged, and I just spent a lot of time not only talking to him, but I visited him over there in Wales, in the United Kingdom. All right. We had lots of time together, lots of conversations. So what I really want to show you is the second book that Nicholas de Vere wrote, and myself, Nicholas, and Michael Hunter, who helped co-author some little bits and pieces of this book. I'm going to actually get it right now. And it is called The Dragon Seed. You can see that. And there's honorable mentions of my family on the cover. And I don't know if I'll read it and then I'll show you. But it says it has extracts and observations concerning the fairy bloodlines of the houses of Sanada, Tarnawa de Vere, Tarnawa Krupa de Vere, and Collision, including the dragon descent of Jesus Christ from Satan, the secret genealogy of ancient lineage revealed. All right. And maybe you can see my name on there. Maiden name, Sanada. Anyways, it's a great read if you're interested in learning all about the ancient dragon bloodlines. I suggest you not only buy a copy of this, but also a copy of the Dragon Legacy, because that is just chock full of very important knowledge and facts that probably blow your mind to pieces. Okay. Now, also on the back, there's a picture of Nicholas de Vere at the top, and this is also a picture of me right here. I'm not sure, but you can read what my last name used to be. I'm trying to get, I don't know, maybe you can see that. Okay. So anyways, I also have the Dragon Legacy. Like I said, I have my house up for sale, so about 50% of my house is already packed up, including my books. But there is also, if you can see this, an inscription, personal inscription from Nicholas. It says, "To my Julianne, my Anam Cara, my reason for living, my inspiration and my muse, with deepest, purest love, your Nicholas." Right, so now I also have a CD of pictures that were taken for some magazines. One was for Rolling Stone, and another was for an Italian magazine that we were interviewed together when I was over there. We went to a Gothic college and everything. And I have those pictures, and I have a CD of a ton of pictures of Nicholas and I in our engagement events, right? So sadly, he did pass away in 2013. I had cut off and called off the engagement about 6 months prior to him passing. I felt that the distance was just too much. He was a man that would literally blow your mind. The knowledge and the intelligence that man possessed is otherworldly, or was otherworldly. All right, so I wanted to give you a little bit of history and background. It is a little fascinating, and I wanted to reveal a little part of me with you. And this is just me being vulnerable and opening a little bit of myself up to my audience. And if you have any comments or questions in regards to Nicholas or myself or our engagement or Dragon Bloodlines and all that, please feel free to comment down below. I really love hearing feedback from you. So I am going to say thank you one more time for watching this video in its entirety. And if you really enjoyed it or found anything beneficial or enlightening, please share the video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, because I know you do not want to miss my next video.